Hello and welcome back to the channel. Right now, it looks like things are heating up around the world. Things are heating up around the world. Right now, there are 100,000 troops on the Ukraine border. Russia has 100,000 troops, right? And it says Russia's threat of war raises global stakes. A lot of news outlets are starting to say that America has been weakened, that they are no longer the global power that they thought they were, that they are no longer at the top. And it seems like Putin is definitely putting out his challenge. He's kind of like, hey, you think you're a power? We are a power too. That's what it seems like Putin is doing. I've noticed that this administration and the last administration has really made America look very, very weak. The Trump administration, the Biden administration, if you look at all of the shenanigans surrounding both administrations, America doesn't look too good at all. You had people in other countries, actually European nations, that were, having big floats of Donald Trump in a big diaper, in a pacifier. Other people were showing him in diapers that were loaded with, crap. Okay. That is such a disrespectful thing to be done against a president, but these other nations did not care. They were doing this openly, bold and blatantly. And now they're referring to the senior in office now as Sleepy Joe. And what's that Brandon thing that they've been saying? I forget it, but it's a statement that they've made concerning Joe Biden and Brandon because they're showing that they have no respect for him. So the past two administrations have really made America look pretty bad. Made America look pretty bad. Now, of course, the administration before and on back as well, I would say that America has already been going downward. Period, because the inception of America was, basically laced in blood. So already you have that, and so they will have to deal with the Most High, our Creator, on those things. But as far as reputation, America's finished. The reputation around the world is almost impossible to recover from how the world views America. So anyway, I want you to listen at this report about these troops that are at the border of Ukraine and how Russia is basically, they're saying that Russia is doing the stare down right now to the U.S. Like, hey, what's up, right? They are doing the stare down right now. So take a listen at this report and I will be right back.
With 100,000 troops on the Ukraine border, Russia's threat of war raises global stakes, and a weakened West only adds to the risk. Russia sees itself as a great power, and great powers demand respect. Putting a massive buildup of troops on the Ukraine border with the threat of war is Moscow's clear challenge to the global order. This is about identity. It is about history. While Ukraine as an independent nation seeks to make its own future and define itself, to Vladimir Putin, Ukraine is spiritually, historically, and culturally connected to Russia. He sees himself as the heir to the legacy of Catherine the Great, who reclaimed Ukraine as part of Russian lands. 2 centuries ago, she demanded other states recognize Russia's territorial claims. It was said that she commanded visiting foreign dignitaries to kiss her hand as a mark of respect. Putin has sought to reinforce a Russian identity built around history, Russian Orthodox religion, territory, and recovering greatness. Russia is a nation scarred by the memory of humiliation. Putin laments the collapse of the Soviet Empire as the greatest geopolitical catastrophe of the 20th century. This is a combustible mix. A weakened West only adds to the risk. Vladimir Putin gives every indication of being prepared to stare down the West. He has done this before and has emerged emboldened. Arguably, he has increased Russian power and influence in the face of US-led opposition and sanctions. Western powers, accustomed to US hegemony and a global liberal democratic order, forget the lessons of great power politics. For all its might, the US no longer commands the world. Liberal democracy globally is in retreat. Post-Cold War end of history conceit that liberal democracy had triumphed once and for all in the great battle of ideas induced a great Western slumber. Western leaders of the 1990s believed they were on the right side of history. They ignored the deeper historical memories of rival powers. What we are seeing in the world today is not great power politics of the 20th century but, in Russia's case, a great power politics that reaches back to the 18th century. Writing in Foreign Affairs Journal in 1994, in the shadow of the fall of the Soviet Union, former U.S. National Security Advisor Zbigniew Brzezinski warned the biggest question was, what is Russia? Russia, he said, could be either an empire or a democracy, but it cannot be both. He saw then an effort by Moscow to maintain leverage over former Soviet states. Most ominous, he said, was Moscow's economic and military pressure on Kiev. Russia, Brzezinski said, viewed Ukrainian independence as an abnormality as well as a threat to Russia's standing as a global power. Nearly 3 decades later, the question of Ukraine is front and center, and Putin has 100,000 troops on the border, threatening to invade. Ukraine is where it all comes together for Putin: identity, territory, history. To Brzezinski's question, empire or democracy? Putin would say empire.
Okay, so can anyone say biblical prophecy? We are looking at prophecy unfolding day by day. The scripture talks about wars and rumors of wars. It talks about nation rising against nation. It talks about these things. It talks about peace leaving the earth. It talks about the perilous times. So many things are talked about, and we are seeing these things unfold day by day. It talks about the famines and the droughts, the hatred, the rise of hatred, and the rise of plagues, and even natural disasters, although it's not referred to as natural disasters in Scripture. This is what we are seeing happening. The stare down, you are seeing the toppling of one empire, and other empires are starting to gain strength. When you look at Russia and China, they are starting to gain strength at an alarming rate. And America right now is looking pretty bad worldwide, and has been for a long time. Like I said, with the last administration and this one, it's almost as if they have sealed America's fate as a world power. This is truly some tripped out times we are living in. It's time for us to pay attention to all of the things that matter. There's too much stuff happening on the internet that does not matter. I see a lot of garbage that's talked about. But what we need to be focusing on, end time prophecy. This is what we are living through right now, end time prophecy. All of this stuff that's happening was prophesied. It was spoken of already. And now we are living it. Perilous times are no longer coming. They are here. Biden had mentioned something not long ago where he was saying that there's going to be a lot of, pretty much a lot of dead Russians, right? And it seems like he's kind of like piped down from that. Maybe he spoke in the heat of the moment, but right now he's like, you know what? We're just going to, send some aid, but we're not going to, you know what I'm saying? So it's definitely very clear that America is starting to lose respect around the world. Not starting to, has already happened. It already began a long time ago, but it is getting more and more obvious that America is not at the top like they used to be. It's getting more and more obvious, and that is being made very clear right here, right now, with the stare down. So anyway, I'm done with this video. Leave your comments below. Remember to keep it tight and keep it right, but until next time. We hope you liked today's topic. Please leave your comments below. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, share it like this video, and with that, we're out. Be sure to ring the bell to be notified of new uploads on this channel, and also comment, share, like, and subscribe.